Hello everyone and welcome to another challenge video here on the Cycling Dane. And as you may recall, last time we went to the cobbled sectors of the Tour de France. This time around, the three of us made our way to Longwy and we did it to try and see if we could beat the time of the stage winner that we now know is Tadej Pogacar. So without further ado, let me hand over to Ewan.
Welcome back to another challenge from the Tour de France Reconnaissance. Yesterday, if you recall, we were up in northern France, dancing our way across the cobblestones that will be used in this year's Tour de France. The cobblestones, well, they were tough, but today we've made it uncomfortably close to Luxembourg in the lovely town of Longwy. Yes, Longwy is all yellowed, ready for the Tour de France. And today, well, we have something different on offer. A 5-kilometer long time trial, which begins with a little bit of flatland before we go into Côte des Religieuses, the little kicker at the end of stage 6 of this year's Tour de France, which will end in this very town. But who's it going to favour? Well, it's going to be someone with a little bit of a flat engine to push themselves into the Côte des Religieuses. From there, well, it's roughly 1.6 kilometres at an average of about 6% gradient. So that could be pretty tough. And, I mean, this finish in Longwy, it's a bustling little town with a market going on right now. We're going to have a fantastic reception, just like the riders at the Tour de France. So, let's head down and get this time trial underway.
So with this all set out, we made our way around Longwy to find out what the Tour de France course would look like for this year's race. However, on the final climb of the Côte des Religieuses, which the riders will take on in July, there was a bit of a problem. Yes, the Tour de France, the world's biggest bike race, means that some roads have to be relaid, even if it is just a matter of 3 weeks before the Grand Boucle arrives. This was the case on Rue de la Banque, where we came across some men at work. Nevertheless, in the words of great explorer Bear Grylls, it's all about improvising, adapting, and overcoming. And we did just that, creating the perfect route for our quick time trial up the decaffeinated version of the Côte des Religieuses. So the route on offer is just 3 kilometers, all kicking off from the roundabout at the edge of Longwy city limits. From there we kick it all off with a bit of flatland over a railway crossing as we made our way onto Avenue de la République. This is where the road would head upwards onto our decaffeinated version of the Côte des Religieuses. From here the road kicks up onto an average gradient of roughly 6%. However, after 800 meters of climbing on the Avenue de la République, we switch around a tight hairpin, the Republic corner, as we make our way onto the final section of the climb. From here, the gradient goes down a little bit to roughly 3 to 4% as we take on Avenue Charles de Gaulle. From here, we enter the walled city of Longwy for the final dash to the line. Don't forget that the final dash to the line from Avenue Charles de Gaulle to the finishing line in the town centre of Longwy would be timed. There would be a special prize for the fastest rider over that final dash to the finish in Longwy. With that all decided, let's cross over to the stage start at the roundabout at Longwy city limits.
Right, so we found our start point. This is our start point. We're outside of Longwy. Here's 2 of the competitors. And guys, how are we feeling about the time trial?
Excited. Yeah, I'm really hoping I finish this with at least 4 limbs. If not, then
I hope to finish this with a good score because I need to make up for the plunge.
3 points for a win, 2 points for second, 1 point for third, 0 for finishing. Not finishing.
That's why I probably should finish this and the plunge, then I got a better chance in Paris.
that's true.
Yeah, it looks pretty flat. The only thing is we've got, we got 2 traffic lights that could bugger you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, come on, we're riding in a city.
Yeah, we'll see. But at least Ewan picked out the finishing line. Well, actually the Tour de France did, but we're just mimicking that. So we should probably draw lots who's going to start first.
Like in a time trial, the winner goes last. Yeah. All right,
the
then.
GC.
So then you go first then.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I really need the win here, so I'm going to put on the winning sunglasses.
You ready? Beep, 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 beep.
Soon after.
This one goes out to all the homies. Love you. At it! At it!
Moments later.
3, 2, 1, go.
Off and away they go, all rolling out of Longwy roundabout, making their way into Longwy town centre as we reach city limits. Out of the blocks, it looks like Scott and Ewan are the quickest into the pedals and round this first sweeping corner. Of course, traffic coming by, lots of cars, as people make their way to their lunch breaks in Longwy. Nevertheless, they're rolling through now in a quest to make it to the railway crossing in first place. By the looks of things, it will be a race between Ewan and Scott to make it to the train lines in time and to make it across there in first place. Over the train lines we go, it's Ewan in first place as Scott and Jack flail for second. Scott is over the railway lines as this first phase of the race is over. That's a bumpy bit of road, of course, which could be a threat for some pinch punctures, but it looks like the three riders are through. So now, as we swing into the Avenue de la République, Scott is the first through this right-hand corner. We sweep into this verge and make our way onto the gradients. This is where our decaffeinated version of the Côte des Religieuses begins. It's the hilly sector of this race, and Scott is out there in first place. Ewan sitting in second as Jack only just now makes his way through the corner at 3 minutes and 48 seconds marker. Scott out of the saddle, galloping in the pedals, as Ewan sits in, almost in an Ilna Zakarin style of remaining in the saddle for as long as possible. 5 minutes into the ride, Scott looks the smoothest as Ewan is sort of lowering in speed. Jack certainly almost doing this climb at a stroll at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Scott's the first through Republic Corner at 5:30, galloping out of that corner as he makes his way towards the line in Longwy town centre. Just crossing over to Ewan now, and he's making his way through the shrubbery, not far away from Republic Corner himself on these 6 to 8% climbs. Jack is far down Avenue de la République. 6:22. Ewan is now through Avenue de la République. So he has done Republic Corner and is out of that, as Scott is not far away from the walled city of Longwy. Jack is just stagnating in the pedals, not near Republic Corner itself. In fact, he's just making his way past where the Tour de France will swing onto Avenue de la République on Rue de la Banque, which we'll see later this year at the Tour de France. Scott is through the walled city. He's now not far away from the main market square of Longwy, as Ewan is on the time sector, the sprint to the finale in Longwy. Scott, though, with a matter of about 300 or 400 meters to go, is safe. Jack is still a far way away from Republic Corner. Well, as Scott makes his way into Longwy, it's just a matter of about 50 meters to go until he cracks the line to become the first rider in this challenge to finish in Longwy. Just after the 7 minute and 26 second barrier. Ewan is next, we believe, in Longwy. He's up at the top of the hill, not far away from the city centre, where he'll meet the finishing line in the market square, just past a bus stop now, with a car pulling out in front of him, but he's okay. He's on this time sector and determined to get the fastest time. Jack, though, still not near Republic Corner, so he will certainly be settling for the bronze medal on this one. So it'll be role reversal in the standings after this first challenge. Out of the saddle now for Ewan in the final couple of 100 meters in Longwy to get that second place secured, but has he done enough over this final sector to get the best time? Jack still struggling on the hillside, but Ewan hits the line there, 8 minutes and 44 seconds, about 1 minute in arrears to Scott, who finished in first place. And now Jack is left on the course, fighting for third place, having to motivate himself to finish this race. Swings round Republic Corner now, 10 minutes in arrears, as he makes his way through and onto this final sector of the Côte des Religieuses. Into the town centre now, through a red light he goes, but the police will not be ringing their sirens. The sirens and alarm bells may be ringing for Jack, though, as he makes his way onto the final sector of the day. This is the timed part, the sprint all the way to the line, this false flat sprint, which feels interminable in Longwy. And at 12 minutes and 30 seconds, he's not far away from the line. One more corner and he's into the walled city. Now,
On the final straight, only a couple hundred meters separate Jack from the bronze medal. A solitary point may be on offer, maybe two if he can get the bonus second there. Pedestrian almost ruining affairs. We've seen that so many times on the Tour de France. And now a final dash to the line to get there in 13 minutes and 43 seconds to become the third rider over the line in Longwy. And that's that.
No, crackle and certainly pop. How do you feel? In 3 words, how would you describe that ride?
Not a time trial.
That's more than 3 words.
Not a time trial.
Boom.
We also have the bonus sprint, which was the final sector up to the leading sprint. I am nowhere in contention, 1 minute and 34 according to Strava. So Ewan, what was your time?
Well, once again, due to the wonderful thing called technology, here we have the Coupe de Religieuse final segment once again, and it's 1 minute and 11 seconds.
So, mine's trying to update. So it's
1 minute 11. That's the time to beat. If you want that bonus point.
I think it's still the same because I did a test run, and yeah, it seems to be 1:04 again. Oh.
Oh.
Come on! Here we go! Well, that was that from Longwy. Stage 2 of our little Tour de France reconnaissance. Next up, the Vosges. What could possibly happen there? Well, we've seen Pogacar break hearts, we've seen Giulio Ciccone take the yellow jersey, Chris Froome win his first ever Tour de France stage. It's where legends are made. Could that happen here in the cycling thing? Well, you gotta stay tuned. Don't forget, you can also follow us over on Instagram and Twitter for the extra slice of the Cycling Dane. It's @thecyclingdane, all one word, all lowercase. And you can also follow the extra slice here on YouTube, which is @thecyclingdane extra. So that's everything. We're about to see you in the Vosges. À bientôt.